I was this close to putting the exclamation point at the end of this title for the video as it is on the poster for the film, but everywhere else I've looked there isn't one, so it's kind of up to you to make that decision at the end of the day. Now, I am going to butcher this name, so I apologize in advance, but the film does star Hadley Robinson, I think is how you say it. Already messed it up in the beginning. Clark Gregg, and of course Amy Poehler herself, who does direct the film. Now, we are here today to talk about Netflix's newest film, Moxie, which is about feminism and kind of high school bullying in that in relation to feminism. So it's more about a certain gender than, let's say, an entire clique of students or a certain group of students, and for who they are or what they wear, but it's mainly about gender specifically, addressing bullying within this topic that a lot of movies kind of shy away from. So, Amy Poehler, for a comedic actress, and I don't really necessarily love a lot of her work, but here I found this work to be very grounded and to fit the target audience perfectly for the teens that this film represents, and then to also speak for adults as well, since they're the ones doing all of the talking. And we've seen adults come out and speak about feminism, but to see it so fresh in a setting that we've seen before and are familiar with ourselves, and for me, not too long ago, being a high school student as well, I used to see this all the time in high school and even now still in college. So seeing this in the film all throughout, and being that it is what it is about, Amy Poehler does a great job of making Moxie a real feminism movement that you can get behind rather than be hurtful or get offended by. So, considering that this is Moxie's origin story, there is a reason for why it is created in the first place, and that is due to Vivian, who is the main character, played by Hadley Robinson, and basically she has a history project that forces her to decide what matters to her at this point in her life. And so the relationship that she has with her mom is a very healthy one. They're very close, and so she kind of gets the insight on what her mom was like back then in high school, and gets this idea, especially when a new girl comes into school and starts to get bullied for, frankly, just being a woman herself. This causes Moxie to be the reason and to be the project, but it becomes way more than a project. It becomes a movement. And what I loved about what this does is that Amy Poehler was able to use Moxie as a way of all these high schoolers to really be high schoolers within their cliques and without their cliques. And I loved seeing the balance of that, and just what they were like personally at their home life as well. And you do get to see versions of this too. So it shows what it's like living with Moxie and before Moxie at school and at home. I can see men not enjoying this film because they may feel attacked or feel offended by it, but I hate to say that that is a nitpick, because it's not. That wouldn't be the film's fault, because the film definitely does a good job at making sure that we know the student body is supposed to work more together as a team, but there is a rivalry going on, much like there would be with another school, and comparing their football teams. But this isn't that. They are literally comparing each other all the time. While Moxie is a definite feminist movement, there are problems that come with Moxie for not just girls and guys, or girl versus guys, but girls versus girls as well. And it starts to really affect her family, and who Vivian is as well. So it becomes more than a history project, which is what I was expecting. And all of these feelings are coming from a place that she has felt before and has been thinking about for a long time. It's just because of her actually acting out on this, it becomes way more of a problem by the end of the film, or towards the end of the film, and you do see the repercussions of what a feminist program can do if it goes too far, or just a peaceful protest that kind of does not become peaceful anymore. And so you do get both sides of this as well. And I hate using that term again because I feel like I have so far, but by no means am I saying Moxie is wrong or was wrong at any point in time. It's definitely something that needed to happen, and it is what this film is about. It's literally the title of the movie. So without Moxie, there's no movie. And I think you do get to see why it goes too far to know that nothing should ever become an attack on someone. It should just be there for supporting someone, and that's what this film does really, really well. Why it's so grounded as well. And you do get to hear everyone's story as to why they joined Moxie, or what has affected them in the past by men or other women, and it really does start to bring the adults into the conversation at this point in the film, because prior to that, it really is just the kids doing what they need to do in order to speak out about some of the issues that they are facing at home and on school property. And I also loved seeing that there is a guy, Vivian's love interest specifically, and he is like the top tier man at the school. Like, this is how a man should act all the time, 24/7, not just in the high school realm, but outside of the high school realm as well. And the inclusion of that really did bring a lot of happiness to me while watching this film, because I loved getting to see the bad guys be bad guys, and I loved getting to see the good guys be good guys. And because it doesn't go to such a serious note, then it works really well, and it just allows the characters to, again, be who they are and to learn from their mistakes and to grow together as both male gender and female gender, or whatever else, any other genders as well, but specifically man or female in this case. And definitely does not hold your hand. They will say stuff that could offend people, but I don't think it's geared at all towards that. It's just finally a teen being able to speak out in secret and not in secret. So I honestly did enjoy this movie a lot, more so than I thought I would, and am very happy that it's on Netflix. It's easily accessible for all ages, for all different genders, everything like that. So we are finally at the end of the video. This is probably going to be a shorter video compared to my last two, but I just don't want to get into the film of who's right and who's wrong on gender sides. That's not really what I'm here to talk about. We were here to talk about Moxie, so I definitely wanted to talk about Moxie and to say what I liked about it and what I didn't, but not about who was right, who was wrong. That being said, I'm going to now give my rating on Letterboxd. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, and on my score out of 100%, I am going to be giving it a 54%. Now, I do think everyone should check this film out. It's a very easy watch. At least for me, it was, but for some, it may be a little bit harder, but maybe it'll start some movement. So, excuse me, Amy Poehler did an amazing job here, and I will definitely check out her other film, Wine Country, I think is what it was. That may also be on Netflix, came out like a couple years ago, so going to watch that as well at some point. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.